Hello and welcome back to Trekyards, everyone. He is Commander Calkins.
He's Captain Foley.
I am, and we are talking today about Lower Decks, Season 3, Episode 5, Reflections. Best episode of Season 3 yet. Absolutely love this one. So much to love in this one. Got a new character, Petra Aberdeen, former Starfleet officer, archaeologist, kind of like the new Vosh. And definitely got some cool backstory with Rutherford, which was awesome. We were just talking about that. You were talking about that last week during the live, where they haven't even touched on his implant, and here you go. You got a full episode about it. Lots to love in this one. I was super excited to see it, and really, I hope the rest of the season is like this, because up till here has been kind of mediocre for me, but this one's been fantastic. So this is like back to season 1, season 2 kind of level of excitement. That's about it for me for my general synopsis. How about you? Did you like this one?
The only thing I'm going to caveat by saying is that I think we'd talked about the Rutherford reveal in such a way that I was thinking more exciting. And so I think that was whelming. So that, as a big like clinch at the end, it's like, oh yeah, okay. So that, if that's the twist, it's like, okay, I wasn't quite as excited as I hoped. But that's what was fun for sure. It's amazing how much they can get out of two people sat at a booth. I mean, it's going to be their cheapest episode conceptually for a lot of it. But at the end of the day, when the dialogue's so rich in Star Trek lore, it's fun. I think it's their most season 1, season 2-y, but I wouldn't say the story is necessarily the best they've done. So it's like gently enjoyable with a bit more punch, but still not phenomenal or anything. It's not one of their best by any means, but certainly it's really good to, everyone actually off script in a sense, because Rutherford was more bad, Mariner was trying to be controlled and good, and everyone was kind of doing their own thing, which I guess is the theme of it. So that was fun in itself.
Yeah, everybody was kind of doing, like even Boimler lost it, which you would think that'd be
that
Mariner
pit,
generally.
man.
So.
That bit of sweet corn, that bit of corn.
There's a lot of little cameos from different aliens and stuff in this one, which was really, really nice. I love how it ended with the staff for the Grand Nagus being liberated. There's a story there for sure.
Yeah, it's implied in a museum on a random planet, but if that's Rom's real staff, then he had to give it away after generations of Grand Nagus things. That's all a bit like,
Not giveaway, it was probably stolen. I love that it was the Indie Archaeologist Guild, like Indiana Jones, which is great.
Yeah, all the guilds were funny, especially as we just met the scientist explorer people in the previous episode and seen them go all weird. So that was fun. Although I wish we'd seen a bit more of the Truther booth with the real conspiracies. We didn't. I mean, I was looking, didn't really get a strong close up. It would be nice to have even like a hint to late in the season or something really cool there. Although yeah, butt bugs, not quite what they were. But I guess not so much a secret if Marin knows about them.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I also love the addressing of the pseudo navy and the military thing going on.
Lots of addressing of things.
Yes, and they're even the uniforms changing all the time.
Although, in fairness, it was played more for dumb laughs in the sense that they didn't show a Voyager and a TNG. They showed a TNG and a TNG dress uniform, which means the people who are asking them are dumb because they're different types of uniforms for different occasions, rather than literally saying Voyager and TNG. So it was kind of winning both sides. It's like, it is weird to have two, but also those two are obvious. It's like,
Did you notice that Rutherford had the Voyager style underneath his jacket?
Yeah, that was it's really hard to tell until the end, but that's the cadet jumpsuit that Nog and Nog's friend wore. So I was like, is that a weird variant? It's like, no, it's just that one thing. So you can't really tell. It's always sort of close-ups, but when it gets blown apart, it's like, oh yeah, that is the correct one.
We learned about the Devron races, which just are through the neutral zone. So, breaking the neutral zone treaty.
I mean, not everyone signed it. I mean, Starfleet, Federation signed it, but if you're part of Federation, you didn't sign it.
That's true. I guess the way I could wrap up this whole episode is, wow, kidoki. Like we said when he saw the Sampaguta. Interesting enough design. It very much reminded me of the episode of Voyager, obviously, where they did the race, just because of the uniforms and just everything about it.
It's also the same upswell nacelle configuration for the same race ships. They really were harkening the same visuals almost identically. Although, did you notice that inside the build is an M5 computer?
Yes, I did notice that.
which is
Yeah.
just like, oh, okay.
That was great.
I see
Yeah.
you. I see you.
I was wondering if anybody else would notice that. That's great. Found out that Boimler failed the Kobayashi Maru 17 times.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Lots of little reveals and stuff in this one. And I do like the new character. I think that's going to be something down the road where Mariner decided to save that contact information. So we'll see how that goes. Because I don't know if Mariner is super happy in Starfleet. Like, she seems to be at times, and then other times not so much. She's kind of the same kind of personality, kind of bucking authorities. So,
well, it's the only place she knows where to be. I mean, if you're entire founder in Starfleet, you've been in there since you were young. But obviously, you can't have a show if she leaves to be a archaeologist. So it's a GN-DN story either way, because she can't leave the show. So, but yeah, I mean, she was fine. But I thought the voice.
well, there's going to be a side quest mission.
Oh sure, yeah. Although I don't know if it was just me, but normally the voiceover recordings sort of blend in with the environment. I thought the voiceover for the archaeologist felt too forced. Like, it sounded like a person in a booth speaking to a microphone. Maybe they record at home as well, maybe they were somewhere else, but I was like, really stood out as being not part of the environment. So it was quite distracting. I didn't enjoy hearing her on screen, so I was like, well, you're just chatting in a booth. Weird thing, but... Or maybe her voice is so distinct that it just, like, pierces through the screen. But it was like,
Yeah. I noticed that in one of her lines, something seemed a little off. But
she was fine.
I hope the reveal of the admiral or captain or whoever it is that's kind of got this thing going on with Rutherford is a really good one. I like that they kept him like in shadow, and I think there's going to be a Section 31 tie-in there, unfortunately.
Well, you say that. I think less like that based on the episode. That's what we assumed was going to happen.
Section 13.
Yeah.
Something, because she's only a lower decker.
Yeah, that's probably. But I don't think it'll be Section 31 now, given what we've seen. The way it was so specific last time, now I think it's just more a general thing. Some Dodge admiral. Though he's not an admiral because he's wearing a normal uniform, so it's just a commander or captain rank, assuming at the academy, because that's close enough. But I mean, did he sabotage the guy's pod? Totally a pod racer. The context is still super oblique, but it's TNG era, classic uniform.
And I know Mike has an idea in mind. Like, this is probably something he's been thinking about for a while, and whether we'll get that reveal this season or next. I mean, because they've been dragging this Rutherford thing on for a little while, just giving you little hints. And I love that there was like, didn't you notice that your thing's always malfunctioning? And
Pairs.
I like pairs once. I love pairs. That's me trying to take my body back. I kind of like that. I don't know if that was planned from the get-go, or if that was just tied in as a, hey, remember this thing? But I think it'll be a very well told story by the end of it, and I do kind of like the slow reveal, the slow burn on that one. But what's the purpose? What's the overall plan?
I was kind of gently upset, honestly, by the reveal that he basically killed a young version of him, or he did or he didn't. Doctors did, because it certainly implied that Rutherford chose to delete his own memories, and if he wants to choose to delete memories, you can delete the memory of deleting the memories. And he's obviously already lost his memory once, so his memory is obviously skewed, but it certainly implied that he chose to not be his old self and get rid of him, and he's so distinctly different a person. I was kind of like, well, that's really quite upsetting. Which one's better? Who knows? And the guy wasn't Starfleet, he was doing his bit, he was good at certain things, and he was so different, it kind of felt like, preening away who you... Well, I don't even know the context, it's so tricky to think, but it was really sad, because it wasn't an imposter, it wasn't an alien, it was literally who he really was, and now he's somebody different.
When it started with the red thing, I thought, okay, he's going to be like some kind of evil or mirror version of Rutherford, but no, just a younger Rutherford who hasn't, And I don't know what specifically. I mean, because they said, what if somebody asks about this? He'll think it's an elective procedure. So did he really want his memories erased, or was that just part of the, I think I want my memories erased because I was told it's an elective procedure kind of thing?
Well, there's two parts to that. The initial memory loss about what happened, the damage being a choice to fix it the way he did. But then at the start he says, oh, well, you got rid of your memories to make more space for engineering. So they kind of said both. But I didn't get the sense that they chose to remove his old personality put a new personality, although they did say that whoever is doing this is so influential into the guy's life that there's a lot of memories to remove, which would, maybe it's his dad. That would certainly be a link as to, if you want to go super dark, he would be a different person if you removed all the elements of, it's like in Orville when the girl that the dude liked, and they took all the future memories of her away, of the boyfriend away, and that changed her the life, career, and then different, not who they thought. Greg, I think it was like computer remove Greg. So it kind of feels like maybe that might be a hell of a dark reveal.
So they're keeping it interesting for sure. But no, I think this was by far the best episode of this season. I don't know if you'd agree with that, but I really like this one for multiple reasons. We just saw the Trekyards, Delta Flyer, which we'll have videos about, I'm sure.
I mean, what do you think about the excuse? Because it wasn't a real Delta Flyer, it wasn't real whatever. We were kind of, which allows you to kind of, literally be the Delta Flyer. I think we're both excited for it being, they've now used that class for other things. What do you think of how that was handled?
I think it was handled brilliantly. I think it was very well done, and I love that. That's what he built. That's what he was excited. I've always wanted one of these. So, and he talks about the pop-out impulse drives and the Borg tech. Like, he kind of covers everything. Like, he's so excited about it, and even talking about Tom Paris and stuff. So it was. I think it was well done, well carried, and I don't know about the young Boimler, young Rutherford. If you're going to do this race, do you really want to imagine that there will be Trekyards coming in and maybe destroying your ship if you're trying to win? Because it was all based on his imagining. Like, he created the shop. He was the one that creating everything. Yeah, it's in the neutral zone, and it has that element of danger, but...
I mean, you could argue the thing was starting to break apart. Their control was breaking apart. Yeah, that was, unless you're also arguing maybe the good Rutherford put one in to screw over the other guy. I mean, clearly had more control because he managed to build a bigger ship with more abilities and 3 crew members. I mean, clearly had more power over the other one who, but that was his thing. He doesn't want friends. He's a loner, and loners are loners.
Yeah. That was such a nice touch, though. Me and my crew, I was like, oh, yes. And then even Mariner says, okie dokie, at one point. It's like, nice.
It's his version of them.
Yes.
Yeah. They just wanted to be on the Delta Flyer. They just wanted a moment, and all 4 of them in the Delta Flyer. That's what Mike said. Just, hey guys, do you want to be on the Delta Flyer? Yes! Cool. Season 3. Done it. Got it. But it was definitely, of all the things you would pick, that's the obvious choice. It is the ultimate hot rod with all the abilities. And saying the Trekyards was a beautiful excuse, and, it makes fans happy. It's a good way of having something simple and effective. And it's not a holodeck. It's basically a holodeck, but it's not a holodeck. Because if every time you make it not be a holodeck, you win. You win a sticker. You work out a different way. But it's definitely very a plot feeling. And the fact that the actor, I think his name's Eugene, can play 2 very distinct characters for half the episode. He's 100% of the people involved in a scene, and you don't even question it. It's so well double played. That's an achievement, real achievement. I
do like the ending where Boimler gets put in the brig, but Ransom's like, oh, you got to tell me about I love the way you stood up for Starfleet, and I thought that was fantastic. And then you got Mariner's little castle she's drawn on the wall, and there's a Boimler castle beside it now. And then she's like, oh, I'm the one that's gonna have to do the mission report. Oh, that's my favorite part. Of course. That was great. So
yeah, and just the small, it was very much a meta episode in that they, as you said earlier, they kept commenting on elements of being the Space Navy. But the thing that obviously triggered him even more was that without Starfleet, you'd all be dead.
Yes. We don't want to save you from the Klingons. We don't want to save you. We want to explore quasars.
Yeah, because everyone's making fun of them for the obvious silliness of certain things in Starfleet. But then, archaeologists guild on, okay, maybe they didn't make the enemies with the Borg in the first place, like Q and Picard did, fine. But they also then saved you all. So yes, oh no, you might fight Klingons. Oh no, you might fight whatever. But also saving everybody. It was a nice way of saying the silly and then the full on. And they helped to kind of re-elaborate the idea of the O'Brien. Do you need to go to academy? No, you can be enlisted, which is so infrequently mentioned.
That was great.
And it was just flat out.
You can stand in a transporter room
with no windows. Well, there are lots of windows. Yeah, very cleverly written, and I think if you weren't a Trek fan, like if you're a Loki Trek fan, this would be a less good one for you because most dialogue is so knowledgeably based that it would just go straight over you, not even just for references, but you wouldn't get the point of these dialogue lines. Well, it's obviously the military. Why even make a joke about it? Yeah, there'd be those sorts of. So it definitely is a very Mike written vibe, and the other thing obviously brings it into the more emotional territory that we also need, because these are our characters. Although Tendi got relegated for 2 Rutherfords. Although hey, what a bring back, a TOS pod plant thing. That's a deep cut. My goodness. And it didn't play into the story, and that's how brave they are to show it. It's Pavlov's spray thing.
I figured it would. I figured he was going to break the glass or something and infect her or something like that.
Escalation, indeed.
I love it, even the fact that Boimler mentioned the doctor, how he has rights, just in his rant. It was nice. It was a small little thing, but considering that I just spoke with Robert Picardo on stage this last weekend, that was a nice little like, ha. So
Bob Picardo has rights.
Awesome.
Boimler said so.
Yes, it's true. Anyway, guys, comment down below what you thought about this episode. We want to hear your thoughts. And if you want to tell us in real time, you can join us on lives. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Click the notification bell icon so you don't miss anything. And by all means, be part of the community and part of the conversation.
Like on the lives. He's hinting. He's implying. Those lives with us directly, talking to you all. When you're there, you can super like. I don't invent a new feature. You can super like in the future. In 2027, you can super like. And I don't know. Yeah, you can super chat. Any comment you want to say, for any amount, we love it, we need it, and you put your voice into the conversation. It's recorded for posterity, because these things are obviously recorded and kept forever. Or you can super thanks in any video on any of our many tirades on any of the shows, and that's the same thing as super chat, just the super thanks. The buttons down there, or just like and comment, all those things help the analytics. And we need those analytics because we do a lot of content for free for you to enjoy. Any amount of help is important, and thanks in advance.
That's right. So, until next time, he is Commander Cockins.
He's got no
And think about joining Starfleet or Trekyards. Join button.
Bye, guys.
We got a booth.